Welcome back to the Los Angeles Sex Therapy Team Video Interview Series, founded by Moushumi Ghose, MFT. In this series, we introduce you to our therapists and coaches so you can get to know them on a more personal level by seeing them, hearing their voices, and learning more about their unique approaches to their work. I'm your host, Jamie Azar, sex, relationship, and intimacy coach at Last, and founder of Erotic Expressions. And today we're joined by Jennah Dubois, who will be sharing insights into her philosophy and the way she supports clients. Welcome, Jennah, and thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited to learn more about your work. So we're curious, what inspired you to become a sex coach?
Great question. I grew up in very religious, conservative communities. My family was kind of just general Christian, non-denominational, but I went to a Mennonite high school. I did YWAM after high school. Like I did a lot of kind of the more intense Christianity. I have a lot of religious trauma, but I've actually been with my high school sweetheart for a very long time, which is very funny. So we did a lot of deconstruction together, which I think was so helpful because that's often not how it works out. But I think having that buddy to like bounce ideas off of was so healing. And once I was doing that work, I was like, God, why is there no one to help with the like specific religious sexual purity culture trauma? I think that's such a niche thing that a lot of people deal with and affects their sex lives their entire life seemingly. And so I just Googled sex therapist, sex coach work, and it was the pandemic, and I spent the whole pandemic getting my certifications, and it was awesome.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing. And it sounds like definitely starting with your own personal journey and experiencing the profound healing impact of that, both personally and relationally, and recognizing there's a need for that support along the way for both individuals and partners plus. So thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. I'd love to ask you, Jennah, what's your unique approach to working with clients?
Yeah, I think I think because I share this experience, I can pick up on, I think for a lot of religious and sexual trauma, it's really rooted in shame. And I think when you come from religious backgrounds where not only is the action you're doing claiming to be bad, but you yourself are bad for doing it, that finding someone who understands that feeling, I just have so much empathy for people walking through that, because it's even less about the sex of it all or talking about relationships. It's really just like knowing you're okay as a human being, knowing you're worthy of these things, knowing you're worthy of pleasure and healing. And so I think I just love helping people find themselves a little bit easier, maybe like picking up the pathway to them, their journey back to themselves. I think it sounds like cheesy, but I really think it's like sometimes you need permission to love yourself after growing up in these communities too, and you've been told otherwise your whole life.
Absolutely. And what a process of unlearning it is, right? And deconstruction, like you said, and having someone like yourself can really help offer that support and compassionate guidance along the way. Also having that lived experience, it sounds like as well. Yeah. So Jennah, for you, I'm curious, what's one misconception about sex therapy that you'd like to clear up for folks?
I think people think, generally speaking, you go to sex therapy if your sex life is bad or something. But I think everyone should go to sex therapy. I think it's your own personal journey that will influence your relationships and the people you come in contact with. But I think most of the time, sex is a very personal journey. How you feel in sex is a very personal journey. Like it's a lot of work you need to do on yourself, just like anything else in life, to have a happy, healthy sex life. And so I think the misconception is just helping people realize that yes, sex can be personal, but it's also feels more personal when you haven't done that work yet, you know, like anything in life. But I think that you have to get for something to be bad, then it needs to be looked at. It's like, no, let's just like look at this big picture. Sex is one amazing part of yourself that you should also give attention to.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that and adding that misconception that things don't have to be broken, right? For us to be seeking that support. Absolutely. Jennah, what's something you absolutely love about the work that you do?
I think it's so rewarding. I think like I grew up in these Christian communities. And so I think being someone who gets to nurture a space for people, just like hold space for all of people's feelings and to just be like, hey, you're amazing right where you are. Let's go. Let's do this work together. I'm here to just be a listening vessel for people. I think like I, you don't even sometimes talk that much as a coach. It's really about listening and holding space and letting people find their way back to themselves. And I just love being able to be that for people. I think what most people really want in life, if you sum it up, is to just be seen. And I love being someone who gets to see people. And it's really rewarding.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And it is a powerful thing to feel seen and to be seen. And with that being said, I'd be curious for you, what do you want in addition to feeling seen? What do you want clients to feel after a session with you?
I think I want them to feel closer to themselves, like they found out a little bit something extra about themselves, or answered a little question, or gave comfort in a way that they were looking for. Because I feel like a lot of the time, like our brains and our hearts are just all jumbled up, and like you could hear someone say a phrase that really connects to you, and then it feels like you have language to use when you're thinking about a problem or thinking about yourself. And so I think that, like, I love that piece of it so much.
And that's so powerful, like the idea of people coming to you and being given the space and the support, right, to find themselves, like you said, and return to themselves in new ways or rediscover new parts of themselves maybe they hadn't before. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. All right. So we'd love to switch gears here and think about, for you personally, a fun little personal flavor here, a hobby you love, a passion you have, or perhaps a fun fact that shapes who you are.
Amazing. I am kind of a little old lady. I am happiest when I'm reading a book or go for a little walk or make a second cup of coffee the early afternoon. I think I just like, and I love being creative actually. I love making crafts, but usually the reading is my go-to. That's always my New Year's goal, is how many more books can I read than the year before. So
Oh, I love that. Is there a current book you're reading right now that you would recommend to folks?
Oh my gosh, wait, that's such a good question. It's called, I think I forgot, or Before I Forget, but it's about a girl's dad who has Alzheimer's, and she's really young, but he's like a lot older of a dad. And it's very interesting, just like navigating grief before death, even, and like the different stages of grief. So it's very good. I highly recommend.
Yeah, that sounds great. Sign me up for a good book and maybe a second, third, or 20th cup of coffee.
Yes, same.
Well, Jennah, thank you so much. Is there anything else you're feeling called to share with folks right now, for people who are thinking about reaching out to you and working with you?
Yeah, I think what I would say is, I think the first step is the hardest. Like, reaching out feels really scary. I think taking the first step is always like the biggest action you can make. But like, if you're feeling like this is something you need, absolutely do it. And I tell people all the time, like, you don't have to stay in coaching or therapy forever. Like, it can be a season that's really helpful for you. Like, some people come for a couple sessions, some people stay forever. Like, you never know. But I think just do it. Do it for yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you for adding that. And thank you so much, Jennah, for being with us here today and sharing with us a little bit more about your work and your own personal story. We've really appreciated having you here.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the Los Angeles Sex Therapy Team Video Interview Series.